Hey everyone, today we're going to be making an Indian dish, which is going to be called, where is it? Tikka Marsala. Now, the thing is with this, I know I'm not making it from scratch, and the only reason is for me it's easier this way. I could go out and buy all the things to actually make the sauce and all that, but quality is great, but it's just easier this way. Now, we'll talk about what's in here. This is all natural stuff. There's no stuff that you can't pronounce. So all the ingredients here, which I will go over, are all natural. Alright, I'm also going to recommend these Bombay potatoes, okay? There are Bombay potatoes and chickpeas in here. I'm going to go over what's in there also. And then we're going to, you notice how easy we're making this today. We're going to put it in, I know this is the real shortcut I'm making today. Jasmine rice in the bag. It's already pre-moistened. I don't know if you guys ever had this before, but it's really, really good. It's just as good in my opinion. It's very close to if you actually made it at home. Now, some people right now are shutting off the screen and they're telling me I'm an idiot, but when you're pushed for time and you don't want things to be in containers all over the place, let's say I'm going camping or glamping, or I'm going away, or I'm giving this to somebody, which I actually am, sometimes this is the best way of doing it, instead of just having a bunch of containers all over and all that. So convenience and what you're actually doing with the food is goes a long way. So let's get to it. Enough talking. More cooking, less talking. Okay, so what we're going to do is this is going to be a pescatarian style. So we're getting our shrimp. Okay, this is already pre-cooked, deveined, peeled, and the tails taken off shrimp. Carrots, pepper, onion, broccoli, and a little cilantro to top it off. Let's get cutting. First, we have our pan preheated. First, we're gonna start with our pepper. How I like to do a pepper, I like to cut the top off. Okay, I like to look right in there, and I basically cut down these walls like this. That way, I get the core out without having to deal with all that. So it's easy to see this way, and you don't get any seeds in there. Now, let me explain something. How much do you put in? Well, however much you dare want to put, okay? You kind of eyeball this up. So you say, well, I don't know. I don't want to put too much onion in. I want more shrimp than onion. Well, guess what? If you got this to take out, what would you do if you got too much onion and you didn't really want it, right? You'd kind of push it to the side. Maybe you wouldn't eat it. Maybe you'd pick out the stuff you want. It's okay to do that with stuff you make at home also. You know, these are cheap, easy ingredients we're making here. So I am going to cut this whole pepper up. Bite-sized pieces, okay? They don't have to be perfect size, but bite-sized pieces that you don't have to think too much about, wow, how am I going to actually put this whole piece of pepper in my mouth? So things that are consistent too. Since this is just vegetables, I'm not overly concerned with, everything being cooked, because we're kind of sauteing, softening, and we are just making it warm, okay? Sure, you could eat it raw, but it's probably better for you, but that kind of defeats the purpose, right, of cooking this stuff. So, in our pan, I like to put my peppers in first. My oil, I am using pure canola oil. Like I said, my pan is preheated. And I'll start with this. These are not going to take long. Next, broccoli. So, I got these little broccoli heads. These are kind of cool. What I like to do is, again, make them bite-sized. What you want to do is get your knife in here and just cut down each little treelet so you get little pieces like this that are bite-sized, okay? And you'll see as I cut this down, these little bite-sized pieces automatically come flying right off. This is what you want. Okay? Put some stem in there, not too much. I don't really prefer the stem. That's simple, okay? That goes in next. Our onion. Get this cutting board cleaned up. I think I'm going to use about half of this onion. Get that paper off. Wish they'd make onions with no paper. And look, this is simple ingredients, guys. Simple stuff, okay? I hate to say anybody could do it, but really, if you gave it an effort, you actually can do it. The more you do this, the better you get at it. Cut these into wedges, just big pieces, okay? Now, separate them, okay? Separate them and pop them right on in. If you don't get them all separated, it's not the end of the world. They will separate when you stir them up, kind of, sort of. Sometimes you drop a piece here or there. That's why it's important to have a clean surface and clean hands. Always want to wash your hands. Again, I'm putting all this in, that whole half of the onion. Onion reduces down a little bit. You notice I left the shrimp out. We're just going to heat those up. Next, the carrots. And you notice I haven't stirred anything yet. That's fine. We'll get there. It's going to be good. I like these carrots because they're bite size, and you can actually just take a bite and you can dip them in ranch, and in they go. Okay, so these are approximately the same size that we have everything else. So these guys are going to go in. And again, guys, you're eyeballing it. You're eyeballing how much of what you think you should put in. Okay, now, take our spoon. Oh, one thing we forgot, salt and pepper. Couple good grinds of salt and pepper. Remember, you have a lot of food here. Salt does not make food salty unless you abuse it, okay? And how much salt and pepper? Kind of eye it up. Not too much, but just enough to flavor everything. You get a little bit of color on there. Watch that broccoli does not burn. That's one reason I didn't start stirring everything when I put that broccoli in, because if that burns, that tastes terrible. Okay? It tastes like you're licking the bottom of an ashtray. And we all know that's not good, right? And all we're going to do is just flip and flip and flip. We're getting some color. Look at this, pretty pepper. Got a little color on it. That's what you want. Okay, you want to get some color on those veggies. Alright, I'm going to keep stirring this a little bit. I'll be back, and then we'll continue from there. Alright, we're back. The vegetables are almost done, but we still want to work on them a little bit. You want to keep them moving. The pepper at the bottom, that's why I put that in first. That could take a lot more abuse and not lose its flavor. It actually gains flavor when it gets a little color to it. Like I said, that broccoli, you want to keep that moving, okay? I'm going to turn up my heat just a little bit. While this is cooking, let's go over the ingredients that are in our Tikka Marsala sauce, okay? Or they call this like a simmer sauce. Now, listen, go to the store. This is usually like around the ethnic aisle. Don't be afraid to try it. You say, well, what if I don't like it? Buy it for like $2.50. Like the jars are like $4, but these are $2.50, and I tell you what, you get more than enough sauce to make a full meal. Those jars, you can almost use those for 2 pans worth. So this is all you need for like 1 pan like I'm making here, okay? Without without it being too much. Because a lot of times, if you get that jar for $4, $5, what happens is you wind up eating all your food and there's a bunch of sauce left on the plate. Hey, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but this is all you need for a simple plate. Okay, so let's go over the ingredients. Water, tomato paste, organic yogurt, milk, organic skim milk, live yogurt cultures, organic cream, garlic and containing less than 2% of garlic, ginger, sea salt, cane sugar, spices, native cornstarch, lemon juice, turmeric, citric acid, red chili pepper, and something gum. Usually that's just to kind of bind it together like a gelatin. But find something for a couple of dollars in the frozen food section, and let's see what I can't pronounce half of that stuff. Okay, so this is obviously much better quality. And I tell you what, just those vegetables alone smell amazing. So let's look at our Bombay potatoes and see what's in here. And there's almost like no ingredients, which is great. Water, potatoes, onion, chickpeas, tomato paste, sunflower oil, garlic, salt, ginger, cardamom, turmeric, and mango powder. I mean, that's about as natural as you could get. Okay, that's about as natural as you get. I'm not going to open this yet today. Like I said, I am delivering this to somebody. I'm making it for them. I think they know. I'm not sure. Probably do. But this is going to go along with it. All right. Now, give it one more stir. I'm going to add the shrimp and the sauce. Remember, the shrimp is just going to heat up. You don't want to add cooked shrimp right away. What's going to happen is the hotter cooked shrimp get, or while shrimp cook, the smaller they get. So you start off with a giant shrimp. If you cook it too much, it's going to be a teeny tiny little shrimp, okay? Again, these have been deveined, no tail, and the peel's already taken off of them. In they go. And away that goes. And I'm not even going to stir it. I'm going to put this right on top. So I like to give it a good little shake. It's liquidy, but you'll see it's not terrible. So we open this up. We're going to pour carefully right in. You can see the consistency. It's kind of like I'm going to say a little bit thicker than tomato soup, but it doesn't taste anything like tomato soup. This tastes wonderful. I'm going to lower my heat. I like to take it out like a toothpaste, like the bottom of the toothpaste thing. We're going to squeeze the rest of it out. I guess technically I could have slid it down the side, but for some reason I don't really do that. All right, that's good enough. Wow, this smells amazing. Absolutely authentic. Stir that in. I already got enough heat on there. Remember one thing, guys. If your pan is getting too hot and it's getting away from you, okay, take it off the heat. Your pan doesn't control you. You control your pan. You are ultimately in charge of the heat. That's what I do love about gas. Gas, once you shut that off, there's no heat left. With this, there's residual heat at the bottom, so my burner's off, but it's still giving me heat because the bottom of the pan, or the stove is hot. Wow, this stuff, I tell you what, the aroma you get from this is unlike anything you've probably ever had before, unless you've had this before. If you've never had anything close to this, if you've had curry powder, it's sort of like a curry-ish type of thing. It's about as close as I could describe it, but it's not like a tomato sauce. There's a lot of stuff in here that is totally unique and unlike anything else. So I'm going to get you guys nice and close here. Let me kind of get this nice and pretty. All right. What I am going to do, I'm going to ultimately wind up putting this in a container. Okay. But I do want to have some of this without cross-contaminating. So what you don't ever want to do, unless you're making this just for yourself, you never want to take a fork, stick it in there, eat it, and then stick that fork back in. That's a no-no. You never, ever do that. And the reason is, it's not just because it's kind of nasty, but the bacteria in your mouth may grow in there. Okay, it's not good for yourself either, but it's kind of whatever. You shouldn't do it, but especially if you give it to somebody else, you shouldn't do that. Okay. All right, so I'm going to plate this, and also what I plan on doing is putting it in a Tupperware. But you never want to put something that hot in a Tupperware, put the lid on it, put it in the refrigerator. That's a no-no. Couple reasons. That's not going to cool off that quickly, okay? You'd much rather have this cool off at like a room temperature. If the room temperature is 90 degrees or more, this is a food safety thing, 90 degrees or more, it can only stay out at room temperature for 1 hour. If it's below 90 degrees, it's 2 hours, and that's it, okay? Then after that, it technically spoils, okay? So we're gonna plate this up. I did not forget about the cilantro. In fact, we'll plate this. I'm gonna let it cool on the plate. Before I do this though, I am gonna take a little bit for myself, put it here. I'm gonna take a little bit of the cilantro. I'm gonna show you this whole thing too up close. Very important that you wash your cilantro, because sometimes it gets a little bit of sand in it. You just want to put a little bit on top, just a little, okay? Now, let's get a fork and see what this tastes like, okay? So I'll bring this up to you. We'll have it together, if you will, okay? And you could see those colors. It's kind of like an orangish color, but that's why I kind of wanted to use the carrots, the green broccoli, and on the yellow onion. Okay, so let's have a little bit of everything on there, and a little bit of that cilantro. I love cilantro. I absolutely love it. All right, here we go. You know, wow. The flavor combination, it's not overly powering. This isn't hot and spicy and you're gonna lift off the toilet seat about 3 inches in the next morning. We're not gonna do that. This is not hot. These guys here are a little spicy, the Bombay potatoes, but they're not ridiculous, okay? But wow, let's try this one more little bit here. You know, what I really like is you can still taste the flavors of those vegetables. Each one, the carrot, the pepper, the onion, the shrimp, the cilantro, you can taste it. And you taste the sauce. And it's perfectly seasoned with salt and pepper. Perfectly. Well, that's all I got. This is easy. You can make it as hard or as complicated or as easy as you want. This is all simple store-bought stuff. You can chop your own vegetables. That's fairly simple. Give this a try. I totally recommend it. See you guys next time. Thank you again for watching.